Hi, everybody, and welcome to 3 of the F stops here. Live on air that's going to win over $800 in pretty awesome camera equipment. It's so awesome that I may go off and cry because I would love some of it. Anyway, so I'm joined by the standard gang of Jamie and Zach. Well, maybe not obviously, but if you can read. Anyway, so Zach, let's change it up a little bit. What have you been up to this week before we start choosing a winner?
We shot our wedding on Saturday, and so I've been kind of doing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was there a baby tied to the back of the dress?
No, there was not a baby tied to the back of the dress.
Okay.
Unfortunately. Look it up.
Wait, that's an option?
I'm explaining the story to my wife, who's sitting on the couch. The story behind that question is that was that in Tennessee?
I have no idea where it was at.
Oh wait, you can't hear me. Damn it.
I'm pretty sure it was in Tennessee. Some woman actually tied her baby to her dress, her wedding dress, and walked down the aisle with it. Her newborn baby. Yeah, look it up, dude. Look up newborn Tennessee.
That's a new thing, drag the baby.
The latest trend.
Dude, that sounds like the
baby
most
train.
Not the worst.
Did you say most worst?
Yeah, most worst.
I think he meant most worstest.
Oh, correct. So yeah, we've been we have been doing all that crap. It's been fun. The wedding was a lot of fun. I actually it was the first wedding that I shot with both alien bees lights. I put one in each corner and was able to get the shadows pretty much completely eliminated from most of the photos that we took, at least in the reception. The outside was a little bit of a struggle, but overall it was pretty good. But that's really kind of it. I got a newborn shoot tomorrow. It's actually been really busy. I just teleported back to 1995 and snail mailed 4 CDs to clients. It was awesome.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's it. Really, not a whole lot.
Sweet.
That's all I got. Joe?
Jamie, what about yourself?
Back to you.
Since the last show, I did an Urbex trip to Detroit with a local group of photographers. We have a local meetup group, and we arranged a little Urbex outing to Detroit and hit a few different spots. And since I went Urbexing and took photos, do you know what time it is, right? I'm going to do the screen share.
Yes, screen share shit.
Yay!
Yay!
Right?
Where the hell's the applause?
You better share stuff.
All right, so let me, and without further ado.
Oh, I'll find it. I'll find it. I got this. Wait, shit.
You suck. It's taking way too long. Okay, so anyways. So let me introduce you to the grand ballroom of the Lee Plaza Hotel. Awesome.
All right, Zach.
So
that's quite a bit of ballroom.
It was one hell of a party, in case you can't tell. So pretty much the Lee Plaza Hotel was really upscale luxury apartments, basically, built in the 1920s, Art Deco style. It's hard to see, but a lot of the detail work that's in the architecture here is just incredible. I can't even imagine what this place looked like when it was new. It was probably insane. Less insane than it is now. So, again, this is the ground floor grand ballroom of the Lee Plaza. It's 15 stories tall, and there's actually rooftop access if you're willing to do the hike 15 stories up, which we were. So this is about halfway up. I think this is the 8th floor. I'm looking down one of the hallways, and this is pretty much how every floor looks. I've never been to a war-torn country before, but I'm guessing this is what the residences there look like. It was insane. I don't think there was a single window hardly in this place that was not broken or completely gone. Further down the hallway there, you can see a couple of the other people that went on this trip with us. The next picture is from one of the apartments. The rubble is piled so high in this room, you can actually see that it's above the bottom of the window. And this is just looking out over the neighborhood that surrounds the Lee Plaza, which is crazy. Detroit is such an insane place. You'll literally have a house that is either tagged up or burnt out or half falling down or boarded up right next to a house that has a perfectly manicured lawn, nice flower garden, and somebody outside like trimming the hedges. It's such a surreal experience to be there. The next stop after the Lee Plaza Hotel, like I said, we did visit the rooftop of this. I'm just not going to share any of those photos right now. The next stop was St. Agnes Church. Now the church actually has a Catholic school that was a part of it. It's attached to it via an underground tunnel, which we did not go in, just because it's kind of freaky and creepy. And there's a homeless man that lives down there that's weird, I guess. So I did not want to do that. This shot is in just one of the halls of the school. The school is, I think, 4 stories tall. And again, like all the school looks just like this. It's a pretty surreal experience. This would be the main cathedral in St. Agnes. This church is freaking giant. I have no idea how many stories tall these arched ceilings are in this church. It's just huge. It's giant. So to give a sense of scale, you know, me and taking pictures of myself. So
You?
no, not me.
Not you.
I'm not an attention whore in any way. So you can see in the background on the left that down at the far end, that's the altar that we were looking at, and then on the right hand side, it's Mr. Cool, me, and my buddy Dave is in the background taking a photo, and I'm gonna kind of call him out on this one. He's actually kneeling in prayer, taking a selfie, and it turned out to be like one of the freaking
I
coolest pictures
saw
of
that.
the day there.
That was really cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he's taking advantage of the Wi-Fi on the EM1 when he was doing that, by the way. And I was taking advantage of the Wi-Fi on the EM10 when I took this. So the next stop after St. Agnes was the Fisher Body Plant. And just as weird as the whole day was, we go into the Fisher Body Plant, and the gentleman on the left holding the iPad in his hand, it's kind of hard to tell what he's holding, but that's Mark Hamza. He's one of the founders, and he's the CMO of Flixel. They make Cinematograph Pro. So we walk into the Fisher Body Plant, and there's a photo shoot in progress.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's pretty crazy. So there's a photo shoot in progress. They have like wires running everywhere and a generator running to power the lights. The guy that's just to the right of Mark Hamza wearing the glasses, he's the photographer on the shoot. And sadly, I don't remember his name, and I feel guilty about that because I didn't get his card, or else I would little name drop for him. But so he kind of made the introduction to Mark Hamza, which was kind of cool, and it was just a weird thing to run into somebody like that at an abandoned factory. Another shot, just typical of what the inside of the Fisher Body Plant looks like. Everything is tagged up, and just the light is ridiculously insane in this place. As evidenced by this photo right here, we call this the blue floor because all of the windows were blue, and it just had the coolest effect inside this. It was dark, obviously, but
It's amazing that many windows are still intact.
well, they're all like safety windows. They have like that mesh, so I think that's the only reason there's as many windows as there are there.
Harder to punch out,
so-
probably.
And again, I have to do a self-portrait. Yeah, right. So again, I like using the Wi-Fi and the Olympus cameras to take self-portraits. As a photographer, you're never in front of the camera, but damn it, I'm obviously changing that paradigm right there with the Wi-Fi. So this was on the roof of the Fisher Body Plant, looking out towards the tall building in the background is a book repository building, and that's probably my next urbex trip. That's 30 stories of abandonment. And yeah, I can't wait to get into that place. So that was my urbex trip, and then just the other day we went out chasing the Milky Way, so I'll share just 2 photos from that trip. I've been wanting to do a shot like this for a while, and it just so happened to be that it was a night where there was enough, I have no idea what in the hell was in the air, but you could see the lights pretty good, so I just did like a little portrait of me trying to communicate with E.T., I guess. And the whole point of this...
E.T. phone home.
Right. Well, I have a really killer LED flashlight, so I had to light up the night sky with that. But the whole purpose of the trip was to try to photograph the Milky Way.
You should have used one of these bad boys.
I'm still screen sharing, so I can't see what you got, but I'm guessing it's bright.
It is. And flashy.
Right. So, as we were leaving,
How the hell did you get a
I
light
thought
bright?
that I could... Oh,
What the-
jeez, I didn't, yeah.
I ordered
So-
one, Joe.
So my last shot, anyways, is just, we went to find the Milky Way at the barn that I like to photograph all the time, and as we were leaving, I told everybody, I said, I think I can see the Milky Way. It's just super faint. Well, when I got home, started going through the images, you could actually see the Milky Way, and it's kind of to the left of the barn a little bit, really faint.
Now, how much of those photos, or how much of that effect is in post?
Which, for what? For the Milky Way?
Yes.
That just actually, as soon as I converted it to black and white, used a red filter, it just jumped out. Yep. But all the other black and white photos, I had to work on them to get it to show. There was a crap load of light pollution, so it really sucked. We're going to do another trip, actually, quite a bit further south from where I am. It's a designated dark sky preserve, so it's 30 miles from any city or town.
So I will now screen share.
Good deal.
Just to show you. So this was actually yeah, I know, right? It got me.
He looks just like you.
Ha! Hold on, jackass. So this is my screen share. This was on. Do you remember the Lady rocket, the LAD?
Yes.
Yes. So this was so that red that you see out there. That's actually, those are brake lights, but the light pollution back here is from the actual launch.
Wow.
But this was a 30-second exposure. But I really managed to get the Milky Way. I think that's what that is right there.
That's hard.
Yeah. And that was on a beach. And so this yellow over here, the glow at the bottom, is actually a fire. We were just kind of camping out, but it made me think. Or your pictures made me think back to that, and kind of wish I could go back to the beach and do that again.
Do it this year. Apparently the missus wants to go back to the beach and do it again too.
No, she wants to talk on the phone while we're podcasting.
That's cool. We'll all listen in. Tell her we'll listen in politely.
Okay, hold on here. Oh, we're gonna get that. Hey, here she is. Oh, there she goes. Hide it. She's hiding her belly.
Tell her she's famous.
You're famous, kinda, to all no people.
Nobody's watching. Nobody wants to know who you are.
She's gone, and also still can't hear you. God, now she's
He'll
gone.
he'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
You were in the heart of technology in San
San
Francisco, and it's like you don't understand what it means for Zach to be wearing headphones. How's that work?
Huh? What do I do with my hands? Now you're.
Now we know why they kicked you out.
Heart of Texas.
Yeah, so that's what I was up to. What have you been up to, Joe? What have you been shooting?
I was traveling all last week.
Oh my God, is he delayed again?
Didn't bring a camera because am I?
Yes, Kung Fu.
Yes, no. Hello.
Yes.
Huh?
So anyway, so I know this will be delayed, but yes, I did not shoot anything last week. I haven't touched the photos I've shot since across the country, and yeah, so I haven't really been doing much.
Did you ever go into detail
unpacking and traveling?
Did you ever go into detail on what you actually did for your cross country project?
No, because we skipped a show.
That's right.
So, yeah, no, I did. You made fun of me for it last time.
You shot film.
I haven't developed any of it. Yeah, I shot
Oh, that's right. That you'll never get developed.
film. So,
See, he could be lying to us and we'd never know because he won't develop the film anyways.
Yes,
Oh, this delay is brutal.
I don't know.
I think Zach you should snail mail him the dialogue from the show, and his response might be faster.
Pony Express.
Right.
Yeah, I got it. Ready?
It could work. It could work.
Back in the day, Joe was a podcaster.
It's the Chase Jarvis effect.
Man.
I wish there was a. Is there film? There needs to be film.
That was not me.
Is that all you shot? Are you gonna keep talking or what?
That's
Understand
All
me.
right, well, let's get
So-
down to the nitty gritty of this, so we can. Oh,
Wow.
Jesus. All right.
Hello?
Since Joe's not
Hello?
going to talk, we may as well get down to the nitty gritty of why.
You can't hear me. That's why
Jesus.
I'm not talking.
No, we can hear you, but you're 30 seconds behind everything. Yes.
Oh. Well, then
Let's
just
pick a winner.
freaking draw because it's pointless for me to talk. Sounds good.
Okay, so before we pick the winner, I'm actually going to share my screen here. Before we pick the winner, everybody should understand that the winner that we do pick will need to be vetted still to make sure that they actually did everything that they were supposed to do. And then once we decided the winner is who they are, we will email them, and then they have, I think it was like 48 hours to respond, and then we'll get the stuff shipped out. So just to remind everybody what we were giving away, let me bring that up. If I can go ahead and plug my own stuff here for a second. Oh, hey, what's up, Engagement Shoot? What's happening? So we had a $150 borrowlens.com gift card, good for only rentals, an Olympus beanie with integrated headphones and microphone that Jamie recommends you rip out, Think Tank Photo Airport Navigator bag, the Olympus Tough TG850 point and shoot camera. I'm actually kind of jealous. I want one. A Borrow Lenses shirt and sticker, and 2 Olympus goodie bags. 2 times Olympus goodie bags. So, Joe, drum roll, please.
Wait, no, I got this. I got this. I got this. Yep. Ah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Nicole,
Got
Han. Nicole, you're the winner.
On?
Han.
Wow.
Sure.
Sweet.
Yay. And we clap. So
Awesome.
once we get a chance to check and make sure that Nicole has done everything that was required, which if anybody doesn't remember, it was actually a bunch of stuff. It was follow pretty much everybody that gave something away on
Shenanigans.
Facebook and Twitter, and also tweet a few things and some other stuff. Once we've vetted that, we will email Nicole and let her know. And Nicole, I'm sorry for butchering your last name. As somebody whose name gets butchered all the time, I feel your pain.
It's Han.
So yes. Okay, Han.
It's Han.
You got it. Thanks. When you said it 20 seconds in the future.
Yeah.
So thank you to all of the folks that gave everything away. Borrow Lenses, Olympus, Think Tank, and the F Stops Here podcast. Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah. Who are those guys?
I don't know, but they have done 52 episodes worth of a podcast, and maybe by episode 104, Joe will actually get internet that works. But I doubt it.
Don't hold your breath.
Don't hold your breath. So let's get into some news and stuff that's been going on.
All right. Let's talk about Baby Dragon. Sorry, it's really stuck in my head.
Not baby dragons.
Wait.
No.
What?
We'll not be talking about Khaleesi.
Oh my.
We did say
Dragging.
baby dragging.
Yes, dragging. Joe's making this hard.
Yeah, really. Are you playing some kind of musical instrument as well?
Nope.
Oh my God.
There we go. Good Lord.
Wow. Oh. All right. Well, since it's going to take Joe an eternity to respond to anything, Jamie, I was going to ask you something. I completely forgot what it was. But I'm sure it was awesome. I don't remember. Man.
Hey, so how's that light brush working out for you?
Yeah.
used it
So
yet?
let me talk about that. for those that remember a few episodes back, Jamie had a Kickstarter. Unfortunately, the Kickstarter didn't get funded, but what was really cool was that Jamie and his partner Travis decided that they were still going to make them. And so I said I love small businesses, especially if it's my co-hosts. So I will go ahead and purchase one. So I bought the Lightbrush Pro. It's here. Boom. Here's the back. Here's the battery. The battery was really difficult to put in, which Travis actually said was a good thing. And once I figured out why, that battery's not coming out.
No.
Which is really good. My initial impressions are I'm really excited to use it. I did play around with it in my living room, which I can't wait to get the phone calls from the neighbors who thought we were being invaded because here, I'll show you guys. Hold on. If you can see behind me in a dark room.
Is this any better?
But sure. In a dark room, it really kind of lights stuff up.
Yeah, especially if you got it strobing red.
Yeah, that's what I was. So that was. I'm still trying to get the modes and stuff figured out, and what each of the buttons does. But I'm going to turn my lights back on.
Jamie, am I still lagged?
The thing that I really like about it is that it makes, and it's going to make light. Oh my God.
Yeah, Joe, you're redonkulously lagged.
Yep. So that's.
Yes, and I said redonkulous.
Yeah, redonkulous. It's redonk.
Right.
So the thing that's really cool about this is that it's going to make light painting super easy, and also I love futzing around with photography gadgets and just like fun, cool little stuff. This is definitely one of them. I wanted to take it with me on the wedding that we shot on Saturday. Unfortunately, the clients that we did the wedding for had no idea what I was talking about when I talked about light painting. So we said no, and I'm going to take it with me. We're going to Myrtle Beach in a couple of weeks. Actually, next week, so I won't be on the show. Oh, good, Joe muted himself. We're going to Myrtle Beach next week, and I thought, how awesome would it be to do light painting on the beach with zero light pollution?
Incredibly cool.
So that's my big goal. I'm going to take my my Samsung NX11 out with me because I discovered that it's really, really easy to do like long exposures with that because it's so compact. And the really neat part is that with the Wi-Fi capabilities, I can kind of see what's going on before I go ahead and snap the photo. So really cool stuff. I'm really, really excited about it.
You need to do a couple of things that you can throw in to like your portfolio to show clients what you could do.
Yeah.
I guess first you'd have to develop a few techniques with it first. But
yeah. So definitely figuring out all the like the buttons and all that stuff. Do you guys actually have like instructions printed anywhere?
I can get you instructions for it, but they're going to be really basic because the controller that comes with it basically is useless. I can get a hold of something for you that you might like that's a little bit better. I think we can swap out that little unit on there for one that you can control with a remote control.
Oh, yeah?
And the remote control actually shows you what color you're going to be switching to.
Oh, don't tell people that. That might be a definite feature that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, so it comes in handy because I know right now with the way that the remote is set up, you have to cycle through the colors to find the one that you want. But with the remote option, it's a radio frequency remote. You could you push pink and you get pink.
Does it look like? Hold on, I'm gonna screen share again here. Does it look kind of like this?
Yes.
Okay.
Very similar to that.
It's actually it's funny that you mentioned that because we were out shopping the other night, my wife and I were, and they make these like, the rope lighting?
Yes.
So they got that now that you can attach it to anything in your house and give it kind of like an ambiance and stuff, like put it under your coffee table or something like that. But Yeah, that would be a really cool feature to build into it.
Right.
Definitely when these get huge and you're sorry for the earthquake. Definitely when WaveCap Labs goes huge and sells 1 billion. Why am I still screen sharing?
I don't know. Because
Oh,
Nicole is awesome.
Yeah, good job, Nicole. So yeah, very excited, very very excited. It it kind of came as a surprise because Travis got confused on the confirmation emails, and so I actually got a confirmation email that it had shipped 2 days after I got it. so I don't know if you noticed, but I actually sent you guys both an email and said, please don't send me a second one. I don't want to take money out of your pockets. So pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah, so I'm really excited, and it'll be fun. We're going to the beach with some friends that are really kind of supportive of, I guess, my experimental photography. So, Joe, would you like to respond? We'll wait. So, any big plans for the light brush? Any future plans?
No, not really. To be honest with you, we've got something else that we really want to do. And I think I've talked with you about it before. That'll be the next thing. Travis and I are actually going to sit down and really get down the details of this one worked out really far in advance. And before we get anything even remotely started with the Kickstarter project, we're going to have gone through a lot of testing with this thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and see if we can't get a way to have it completely sourced from another manufacturer. I don't want to be involved with anything. I want it just to come to us as a finished product and resold as hands-off as possible.
Yeah, it seems like it would be a lot of... I mean, it would be interesting if you could do like a... as a WaveGap Labs, I guess maybe blog post, what went right, what went wrong, what you do differently the next time, stuff like that. It would be really neat. And that's actually one of the things that I was going to bring up tonight. One of the things that I really want to start doing now that I'm going to have probably a lot more downtime as far as being at home and just taking care of things. I really want to start kind of doing a lot of like pullback stuff to where I go into a little bit more detail about how I did a shot or maybe like a lighting tutorial, stuff like that, because now that I'm really starting to get a good grasp on some of the more complicated techniques that I've been using, and I've always kind of been I guess a giant numbers and like graph nerd and dissecting stuff like that, like dissecting how. That's why what's the photographer that does all the super crazy images?
Ben Von Wong?
Yes. So if you've ever been to his, that's all it took, right? Was describing that.
Right.
So if you've ever been to his blog, he pretty much does like breakdowns of every single shot he does, and it's absolutely insane to see the way that he does that stuff. And that's kind of, I obviously don't want to. I mean, I'd love to shoot some of the stuff that he's shooting, but really just like even so much. So Elise and I have been doing the whole weekly maternity photo, and I've been lighting those in different ways just to kind of play around and see how light affects different things and all that other stuff. So that's kind of where I want to go, and it would be really neat to see, especially as somebody that I talk to on a fairly regular basis, what went right and what went wrong with you guys for your Kickstarter and what you would do differently and all that other stuff. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's always cool to be able to share stuff like that, because I know that, even if you're not successful necessarily at what you did, people are still going to want to look for that information anyway, so that they know what to look out for in the next one. I know we did a lot of research going into it as far as, the length of your promotional video, how you structured your Q&A on Kickstarter. I mean, yeah, I'm an information whore too. I waste an inordinate amount of time at my day job researching stuff. I'm constantly
work-related. It's all work-related.
Yes, work-related. Yes, I'm furthering my work skill set.
I do have. So Joe has muted his video and his audio. Joe, you should unmute your audio and see if it works better with no video. I did actually. I forgot to mention when we were talking about the what are we shooting. There was one other thing that I was shooting. I'm gonna screen. We can hear you, but there's a bit of
Well,
a
that
delay.
was a 20-second delay.
Okay, not any better. So so let me screen share this real quick. I did do a little bit of photography over the weekend that was kind of unconventional. Specifically, hold on one second. Let me get it out of here so you guys don't have to see all the crap that I got open. One of the things that I did that was kind of unconventional, I took my GoPro and I launched it into the air.
Yeah, you inspired me with that.
That was a lot of fun, especially once I realized that I could drop it on the ground in the grass and stuff, and it wasn't going to really kind of do a whole lot of damage. I'm back into that phase where I'm really only using my DSLR for client work, and I'm back into playing around with I never would have ever guessed the potential for photography that a GoPro. I mean, it's a halfway decent camera.
Yeah, it does take good pictures.
But it's really just the ability to get to places that you wouldn't think it could get and do the things that you wouldn't think it could do. I mean, you've been using it with your drone, so.
Now you know that there's a lens profile for your GoPro in Lightroom, right? So you can defish it.
It's wild looking.
Yeah, like mega ultra wide.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Now,
yeah,
which GoPro do you have? You have like the Hero 3?
I have the Hero 3 Silver.
Okay, so that does 240 frames per second video, right?
No, it only does 120.
Still 120, still plenty good. Turn on the video at 120 frames per second and chuck that sucker up in the air. Did you see the video I did with the Tough? I did it at 240 frames a second.
Yeah.
And threw it up in the air, and like what would normally be like a 2-second toss is like 30 seconds of like ridiculously mind-bending slow motion, and it looks like a mile higher than it really is too.
Well, it's just crazy because when you and here's another shot that I took. If you can whip that thing around fast enough, you can get some serious distortion.
Dude, that's so ridiculously cool.
It really, really bends, and
it looks like you're doing it from a drone. It looks like it's that freaking high.
Right, and it was probably 20 feet in the air.
That's so cool.
Tops. So I was really excited about that. So I just ordered a GoPro makes a like a floating back, so we're gonna take it and throw it around at the beach while we're there next week.
So if you're going to have all this downtime to where you can play and experiment, and you like to do research, you need to find out, do a little research on a parachute that would allow that thing to float down at a moderately slower speed. I mean, not something gigantic. And then you need to make yourself one of those like little potato guns.
Yes.
Shoot that sucker up in the air so it comes down facing downwards. You don't need a drone. You just shoot your camera into the air, which would be kind of neat for like a wedding reception if it was outdoors.
Funny that you mentioned that because so those photos were all taken at my mom and dad's pool. They've got some really nice property out there to be able to do all that stuff. And so when we went out the first time, and when we got ready to go out the next day, my dad got all mad because when we pulled up to their house, he meant to call me ahead of time. He actually wanted me to stop at a local party store and buy a few helium balloons. He wanted to float the GoPro up as far as we could get it and then shoot it down with. He's got a pretty nice pellet gun that's fairly accurate, and the scope sighted in and all this other stuff. So
that would have been awesome.
Really cool too, because normally not normally, I look like an idiot standing in my parents' backyard throwing a camera up in the air all by myself. But then, my dad saw the pictures and was like, "That's really cool." So
that's awesome.
We should shoot at it.
Right.
Okay. What am I? I'm gonna say no.
Make sure you share it with like Petapixel. That might take off, make you famous.
Yeah. So it was really neat, and again, it's just you had mentioned a couple shows back, probably about 10 shows back or whatever now, that you really enjoyed hearing how I talked about getting so excited and reinvigorated about photography when I got my Sigma 35, which, by the way, 3/4 of the wedding, that's all I used to shoot. I'm actually considering. So, rumor has it that what's the photography show that's coming up?
Photokina.
Yeah. So, rumor has it at Photokina that Sigma is going to announce the 85 millimeter 1.4 art lens.
Bye bye Canon.
Yeah, really kind of thinking that if I mean, I would probably keep the 70 to 200 for the ceremony only, and then
Right.
you know, once we got to the reception, primes all the way, because
Yep.
it's just if I wish I had some of the photos from the wedding already previously worked on, because I could, you know, I'm really just really pleased with the quality of that that lens. But anyways, it was really kind of neat to get so excited and reinvigorated with a $300 action cam. But I mean, what's the saying? Your the best camera is the one you have with you.
Right, Chase.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I was excited. So
Yeah.
you made a video. You made a video with your Tough, right?
Yeah, yeah. It the one that we're giving away actually does it too. It'll do like 240 frames per second or 120 frames. There's a caveat to that, and that's that the 240 frames per second is not going to be like a big 1080p video file. It's going to be a small video file, which is cool for like a cell phone share or something to pop up like on somebody's newsfeed in Facebook. It works perfect for that. But yeah, so I did, you know, after seeing your pictures, I was like, no, okay, I'm going to throw my Tough up in here and see how this works. So I threw it up, and I had like it on the timer, and the pictures were cool. I was like, well, wait, I should just do a video of this, because that was something I used to do with the Toughs all the time, was throwing back and forth with my kids, especially if we're in a pool. I'd throw it from one side of the pool to the other. Well, something told me I should try it at 120 frames per second. So then I just spent like a half hour, 40 minutes outside throwing the camera in the air, or my son was playing ladder ball in the yard, and I was doing like 120 frame per second video of him throwing the ladder ball things around the yard. It's fun to start messing around and thinking a little differently about how you shoot stuff. Which, speaking of that, I'm going to take and use the high frame rate in combination with, I'll just give away what I'm going to do, and if somebody else wants to beat me to the punch, go ahead, and I'm going to be pissed off if they get famous for it or a lot of publicity, but I'm going to combine 120 frame per second video and time-lapse and Cinematograph Pro and make just the most ridiculous cinematograph. It's going to look insane.
Isn't that technically a hyperlapse?
But it's going to be pretty interesting. That's me thinking outside the box.
It's so fun. It really...
It's technically, I just made this crap up, so I'll give it a name later. I don't know. It's not really a hyperlapse. It's going to be something completely different. Explain what a hyperlapse is to those that don't know, Joe. We'll wait 45 minutes.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know if I can really explain a hyperlapse, but it's basically a time lapse where you
I knew it. That's why I called you out. No, I'm just messing
Sure, you
with
spend a lot of time between each shot or zooming.
Yeah, hyperlapses usually involve movement, don't they?
Of the camera,
It's like a time lapse with movement as well. Like
yes.
I've seen like hyperlapses of like this Space Needle in Seattle from like, you know, all around the city.
Put it together, but it's something along the lines of if I took up a country, I could probably convert it from a time lapse, which is 30 frames per second, to a hyperlapse, which is seconds.
Gotcha. Yep, yeah, this will be like a weird hybrid kind of thing. I've never seen anything like it, and it'll be interesting to composite it to make it work. But yeah, the idea just kind of hit me while I was messing around with Cinematograph Pro, thinking of ways to do it different than everybody else is doing it. Basically, everybody kind of does. I don't want to say the same thing, but it's generally you've got a subject who's frozen, and then either something in the background has got a bunch of motion to it, or a part on the person has got some motion to it. But it's always the same kind of motion. You know what I mean? So let's say I was filming using a 5D Mark III. Sorry, Olympus, for saying that. It's just the first thing that popped into my head. But they'll shoot like 24 frames per second. So generally what you'll have is you'll have your still frame in Cinemagraph Pro of the subject not moving, and then whatever was going to be their motion thing would be like at 24 frames per second. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be kind of cool rather than use like 24 or 30 or 60 frame per second standard video and use time-lapse video as your motion in your Cinemagraph. And then I thought, okay, that would be kind of cool, so I'm going to do that. And then I started thinking, what if I could layer, like in Final Cut or something, a way to combine part of the scene will be time-lapse, but part of the scene is also going to be shot at 120 or 240 frames per second. So I'm actually going to have, well, 2 different frame rates going on at the same time. So one section will be in like ridiculously slow motion, and then the other part of the scene will actually be sped up time-lapse. I'm trying to figure out how to fully shoot this whole thing, but a good example would be something like the subject is standing in front of the camera, water is poured on top of their head. That is slowed down because of like 120 or 240 frames per second, but the background, like clouds moving behind them or whatever, would be time-lapse footage. You kind of see where that's going? Oh, he's muted anyways. Do you kind of understand what I'm saying, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It's maybe a really convoluted concept, but I guess if it works, then people kind of understand what the heck I'm talking about. Oh, you are there. Okay. It's hard to tell.
So yeah, so it's been a it's funny that I actually forgot. And then another cool part about the whole process was once again we've talked about it in the past, being able to post the photo, edit and post the photos and videos from the GoPro directly to my phone over the Wi-Fi. It's really kind of cool. Really kind of cool. So
yeah, and being able to do that stuff is just ridiculously awesome. I love being able to share stuff like fast. That was one of the fun things about like the whole Urbex experience, is being able to just be on location in this crazy burned out ruined place, and then I'm firing stuff up online like all day throughout the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard doing this with Joe on dial-up.
It really is. Is he actually on dial-up? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
We should make him go to a Starbucks the next time.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
It has actually. It's been a fairly slow couple of news weeks. One thing that actually did kind of excite me. So Instagram got a big update.
Yeah, did that roll out already today?
It hasn't gone out to
my
Android device, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it hasn't gone out to many of them. But yeah, that looks really cool. It's Instagram's kind of trying to be the end-all, be-all photo editing software on your device, on your mobile device. So kind of neat. And then obviously, and it sucks that Joe's muted right now, but we kind of can't overlook the announced changes to iOS, whatever version that is. But some big photo-related changes are coming to OS 10 and the updated iOS Photos app, which is pretty cool. You can kind of search your entire library. A lot of people said that
in iCloud.
They're really trying to put some serious pressure on the individual app makers. There's composition tools built into the. There's adjustments that can be made. It really kind of, I hate to be that guy, but it really kind of sounds like they're integrating a lot of Snapseed functionality into the actual photo application on the device. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with that. It's that's just how Apple works anyways. They wait for somebody to get something baked in, or they work on their own version of it or whatever until they think they've got it solid, and then it gets released. But I don't regret switching away from an iPhone quite yet. It's not that big of a deal to me.
Joe?
Chime in. This is painful, dude.
Yes.
So, who do we have on next week? You're not going to be here.
I won't be here. You may want to think about. I think you should try and get Alex back on because she seems to make the shows when I can't make it.
Yes. Good call.
And maybe get somebody to replace Joe permanently. Just kidding, Joe. We love you.
Joe needs to drive up to Michigan where we have real internet, I guess.
You guys are planning on maybe having some kind of meetup, right?
I would like that. I think it would be kind of cool.
I would love to get up there. It would be great if I could get up there, or even do like an Ohio thing when I'm up in Pittsburgh for a weekend or something.
You know what? Maybe we could do an F-Stops here meetup.
That would be pretty wild.
Yeah. And then all 4 of our viewers would show up. We'd have to find a halfway meeting point. What? I forget it takes like 20 seconds. I got to think back in time to what I said.
What did I just say? Oh.
On. Being ridiculous. It's not my fault the time warner is terrible.
Or, you guys could come up if you're interested in urbexing. We're going to do another Detroit trip later on in the year. Like towards fall.
Yeah,
later on in the fall, like maybe
interested.
September-ish, somewhere.
I'm totally interested.
I'll probably be mildly busy with like a new child.
Oh, just bring the kid to the D, man.
Is that what you're calling it, the D?
Tomatoes.
I'm trying to be cool by calling it the D. I don't know what people from Detroit call it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not referred to.
Isn't that what Eminem says?
As the D.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it is. More so than... Let me just do a search for the D on Google. There's a hotel in Las Vegas. Damn it.
Oh, I
mean,
yeah, I don't know if
D,
you want to search that.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not doing an images.
Just don't screen share.
Yeah, screen share the D.
Yeah, okay.
The D is also for disjointed, like tonight's show.
So maybe I was a little wrong on...
Nobody actually calls it
the D. So I'm trying to coin the phrase, I guess.
All right. Starting a trend.
Right. Hashtag the D. So, anyways.
Yeah.
So, we're going to have to verify Nicole.
Yes, we're going to be verifying Nicole. And also, I think we're probably going to be switching our time to 8 p.m. For the show. Wait 30 seconds for Joe.
Well, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I think it's getting worse.
Wonderful.
Oh, that never gets old. Only because we're all on the East Coast now. It may be a little bit difficult to get some West Coast guests. Sorry for the movement. Get some West Coast guests on there, but we will try our best to accommodate them and let people know well ahead of time. I think we'll probably go ahead and wrap it up a little early tonight so we can get some stuff checked out. Make sure we can make sure Nicole is a big winner, and if so, get her email to her so she can get her fabulous prizes. Yeah, so thanks. Even though we're on episode 53, it's been a wonderful 52 episodes. I look forward to the next 51 episodes, and hopefully at episode 104 we can give away twice as much as we gave the last time, and we'll have twice as many viewers.
Double digits.
I enjoy coming here and talking photography crap with you guys. My only wish was that more people were around to enjoy it. So that being said, Joe, I'd love to thank you for being here, but you didn't contribute anything tonight. Jamie, thank you as always. Yeah, thank you as always for being here and for your wonderful contributions to the show and for internet that's functional.
Right.
If you guys like the show, we hope you did. Follow us on YouTube. Hopefully you entered the contest and are following our show and all of our wonderful contributors on Twitter and Facebook so that you can keep abreast of what we're doing. Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Like I said, give it a follow. Do whatever you want to do. So Joe and Jamie, thanks again for a wonderful evening show, and for the three of us, this has been episode 53 of the F Stops Here podcast.
Bye.